Do you have an idea?
Yeah, I want to talk about what. Speaking of Chinese territories being taken over by the CCP.
I just have to say, on this podcast, you asked if we could talk about something funny.
Well, this is more serious than China Uncensored. Don't you think so?
Yes, this is very serious, and I don't know if there's room for jokes. Only puns.
I mean,
More so when we're interviewing someone.
That's true. I mean, but when it's just the three of us, I mean, I talk about how my college put on a musical production about the Kent State Massacre.
Yeah, that's going to get us censored by YouTube.
I'm for free speech. That maybe should have been censored.
the musical?
Musical.
Anyway, so the funny thing is that Cathay Pacific apologized last week, by the time you were watching this, for having an episode of Family Guy on their in-flight entertainment.
And not because Family Guy makes tons of politically incorrect jokes all the time.
Well, it was actually the first episode of Family Guy, and the reason is that how Family Guy has all these really arbitrary cutaways to things and references to things. There was suddenly a cutaway to Peter standing next to Tank Man in front of the tanks in Tiananmen Square. And so that was the thing that is now too sensitive for a Hong Kong airline to have on their in-flight entertainment.
A reference to the Tiananmen Square massacre.
I mean, it's funny because that show they make fun of like everybody, right? Like it's pretty out there.
I mean, the joke is that Peter's a coward who decided to nope out of standing up for
Well, I think the real thing to say about this is we can't show you the clip on YouTube because YouTube will, even though it would be fair use, they would hit us with a copyright strike. On our website, we will be able to show you this clip and things like it in the future.
This clip is like a 5-second long clip or something like that.
Yeah.
And
they would demonetize our whole thing with a copyright strike just for showing you something that is legal to use because YouTube has no meaningful arbitration or mediation process for this kind of thing.
Certainly not for a channel like us who only has 2 million subscribers.
No.
But anyway, so that's one thing. So we're doing these special premium episodes for the website, and we're able to have a lot more fun with the video edits, actually, because
we don't have those kinds of restrictions.
We don't have those kinds of restrictions.
I mean, recently we were even demonetized for showing a clip of J.D. Vance.
Oh, and it was like, we do this all the time. We show like pull quotes.
Yeah, there's like sound bites.
Sound bites, right? So it was a sound bite that we were talking about.
Right. Mm-hmm. And the way we did it was perfectly legal within fair use law. And I checked these things, and it was totally legal. And yet YouTube demonetized our whole video with absolutely no recourse.
And it's not like they would do that to CNN, who does the same thing all the time,
Yeah.
But because we're the little guy, we cannot get anything from YouTube. Anyway, so
ChinaUncensored.tv, that's where we hope you go to watch our stuff.
Buy a new suit.
One of the ones that I really had wished that I had written an episode a few years ago that was about essentially, I think it was about Kenny G getting in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
In China which Kenny G is very popular in China.
Mm-hmm.
There's a song of his that gets played when like all the stores close, malls close, and things like that. So Chinese people are very familiar with Kenny G, and he's been touring and stuff like that. And then I think it was during the Hong Kong protests, right, where he got in trouble for taking a photo with in Hong Kong of the protesters, and then he had to issue an apology.
Yeah.
And I had this whole joke about how there should be a super group of people, of washed up singers like David Hasselhoff and Kenny G.
David Hasselhoff is not washed up.
Well, because he had performed at the Berlin Wall.
Yeah.
And the song "Looking for Freedom" that he had, that was super popular in Germany, and people associate this song with the fall of the Berlin Wall. I mean, Hasselhoff performed it at the wall after it fell, but it was amazing because when I was in Berlin, there is a David Hasselhoff museum in Berlin, and also
sexiest museum on the planet.
It's a small museum, but they're also in like the Berlin Wall Museum. There's photos of David Hasselhoff, the signed photos of David Hasselhoff singing at the Berlin Wall, and it's an amazing clip because he's wearing this jacket that is piano keys and it lights up. And I was like, I really wanted to be able to use this clip for the episode, but I couldn't because we would get a copyright strike.
Yeah. So again,
I mean,
about the website.
Ultimately, we lost tons of money that whole year because of the protests.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, that was another thing YouTube really didn't like. They didn't like us talking about the Hong Kong protests. A lot of episodes demonetized. They really don't want us to exist anymore. Help us exist, please.
Yeah, and like we said, we still want to provide a lot of content that is free for people.
Yeah.
But we just have to do something to
be able to survive, to make that free stuff.
Yes, and hopefully gives you some value back if you subscribe by giving you exclusive episodes that won't be on YouTube.
Right, and I think, when you go to the website, if you go there now, there's going to be like 3 or 4 premium episodes of China Uncensored already. But keep in mind that this is just the beginning, and your support is what will actually allow us to make it more robust with tons more episodes, more variety, more everything.
More general hostility.
Right. So it's kind of like it's a snowball effect, right? Like the number of subscriptions allows us to make more content that will get more people to actually subscribe.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, yes. And if you have things that you'd like to see.
Yeah. Especially these early days, like, when there's only a few hundred subscribers or, whatever, like when you're in on the ground floor, we're listening to you much more directly because there's just not that many people yet in the chat, but we're still going through the chat and reading all the comments. So this is a big deal. So yeah, come on over. This whole episode is basically like a pitch for ChinaUncensored.tv.
I don't think so.
Oh, we were talking about great stuff. Like when you said Trump and Biden were going to kiss. Good content.
I'm just now imagining AI making videos of that right now.
No, I think AI probably already has, honestly. Yeah. But my favorite Trump Biden AI video is the one that you sent me where they're singing that Chinese song.
Oh, yeah. Can we show a clip of that?
On our website, we can.
I don't.
Are we able to do that here? Well, so this is the whole problem. Like, we have to have a conversation of like, oh, is this okay?
No,
it's definitely fair use, but it's kind of the issue is would it get caught up in the YouTube's like automatic
copyright system?
Yeah, or how they go after like AI as well. Yeah.
It's
website.
It's like the whole system is being run by not the whole system, but like at a very practical day-to-day level, YouTube is being run by robots. And like, you think, oh, robots are going to do things, so well and efficiently and won't make mistakes.
Who thinks that at this point?
I actually heard this on a Joe Rogan podcast with this idea that like, if your ports are automated, it's going to be like free from human error. And like, I disagree with that because the errors come in the parameters that you set for your robots.
Well, and so I think that is the real problem with YouTube is that there's very likely someone or a group of people in the middleman level who is setting parameters that end up screwing China Uncensored.
Right, like you set. I don't know if they still have it. It used to have like a P score,
P value,
something like that.
I have to look into that. I think the quartering talked about that.
But that was like 5 years ago, and I don't know what their system is now. But they can clearly choose which channels go viral, and which ones are essentially prevented from that. Because 5-6 years ago, like we would have every couple months we'd have a video that goes like to 1 million views. And we haven't had any in years since COVID.
Did we have any during COVID?
And well, I mean, not since the COVID started. And like, you know, it's not that like suddenly our content has sucked, because our number of actual subscribers, which is people who are meaningfully choosing to click subscribe, that's gone way up. But the algorithm is clearly not pushing out China Uncensored in the way that it used to. So there's something going on there. We just don't know what it is, and you can't download the code anymore to see it. And, you know, we just don't know. But like, yeah, some mid-level person decides that we are persona non grata, but they don't want to officially censor us.
And again, we have no idea what connections China has in YouTube, which sounds far-fetched, but there was a Twitter whistleblower a few years back who exposed just how deep of a Chinese influence there was in Twitter before Musk took over. And who knows? Musk could be a lot of Chinese influence right now. So.
I mean, he's got. I really don't like that he's got Tesla factories in China. This this is not good.
Musk's Chinese influence is kind of out there in a way.
It's
like
true.
It's kind of less insidious in a certain way than what's happening with YouTube.
Or like if you're secretly an investor in BYD or something, but you don't let anybody know.
I mean, everybody knows what like Tesla's connections are with China.
That's a good point.
His mother is a like spokesperson for Chinese brands.
Yeah,
like, it's like very visibly. So in a way, like that influence operation is clear to see.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like I mean, I have mixed feelings about Elon Musk because I feel like he's definitely not seeing the picture with the CCP clearly. Like he claims to be anti-communist and you know, like a free speech absolutist and all this stuff. And I think that what he's done with Twitter/X has been good, you know, in general for America and
for
the
free
world
speech,
and
which
free
they
speech.
do not have in China at all.
But yeah, it's just like there's a giant blind spot when it comes to China.
Yeah, it's really strange. I wish we could have an opportunity to speak to him and get to just hear what he's thinking.
Maybe you need to go on X and become like a power user, and then.
Oh God, I just don't have the soul left for that.